Good morning, students. This is Lakshmi, Assistant Professor in the Department of EEE, Chevrolet Engineering College, Lecturer 23, Unit 2, Conductors, Dielectrics and Capacitance. Topic: Capacitance of a spherical capacitor. Now, in this video lecture, I would like to discuss about capacitance of a spherical capacitor and also energy stored in a capacitor and energy density of a capacitor. In the last class, we will discuss about the what is meant by capacitance of a capacitor and capacitance of a parallel plate and also capacitance of a coaxial cable. We discuss it. So here we discuss about the capacitance of a spherical capacitor. So how a spherical capacitor is formed? So a spherical capacitor is formed of two concentric spherical conducting shells of radius A and B. Now the capacitor is shown in the figure. So here these are the two concentric shells. So the inner shell having radius A, the outer shell having radius B, and the medium between two shells is a dielectric medium and having a permittivity epsilon. Now the inner shell is a positive charged, the outer shell is having negative charge. Now the electric field intensity is radially outward, that is from A to B. So that is the direction of E. So radially means along the direction of radius of the shells. So this is the figure represents the spherical capacitor. Now we have to calculate the capacitance for this spherical capacitor. So the radius of outer sphere is B, while that of inner sphere is taken as A. That means B greater than A. The region between two spheres is filled with a dielectric medium with a permittivity of epsilon. The inner sphere is given to a positive charge plus Q, while the outer sphere is negative charge. Now, considering a Gaussian surface as a sphere of radius small r, it can be obtained the electric field intensity in a radial direction. That is, when you observe the figure, this is the Gaussian surface. So in the Gaussian surface, the electric field intensity is along the direction of radial component. That is, this is the direction of E, like that. These are the directions of E. So the expression for the electric field intensity according to Gauss law, we have to take the expression from Gauss law. So already in Gauss law applications we discuss about the electric field intensity for a sphere having radius r. That expression is here we used. So the expression is E is equal to Q by 4 pi epsilon r square AR bar voltmeter. Here the AR is indicates the unit vector, that is the electric field intensity is along that unit vector, that is the direction of E bar. So here we know the value of electric field intensity, that is which is derived from Gauss law. Now by using this expression, now we find the value of a potential difference. So the potential difference is a work done in moving a unit positive charge against the direction of E bar. So here positive charge is on the sphere of having radius B. So that means here the unit positive charge is moved from B to A, and which is against the field direction. So the expression for the, or the relation between potential difference and E is V is equal to minus integral E bar dot dl. Here the limits are R is equal to B to R is equal to A. So here substitute the expression for E, that is equation 1. E expression according to Gauss law is, that is for a electric field intensity for a sphere of radius R is Q by 4 pi epsilon R square AR bar dot DL bar. And next, it is a radial component, that means it has only radial direction. So according to spherical coordinate system, the expression for DL is dr AR bar plus R d phi A phi bar plus d theta A theta sin bar. But we have to take only AR bar component. Why? Because the electric field lies along the direction of AR bar only, that is only it has only radial direction. So simply we neglect the A theta unit vector and A phi unit vector. So the expression for DL in case of spherical coordinate system is dr AR bar. Now substitute the value of DL here, Q by 4 pi epsilon R square AR bar dot DL, that DL value is dr AR bar. So the dot product between AR dot AR value is equal to 1, and that is equal to minus integral R is equal to B to R is equal to A Q by 4 pi epsilon R square dr. Here Q by 4 pi epsilon is a constant, so just write the before the integration, and in the integration there is only 1 by R square value, that is integral 1 by R square dr. Integral of 1 by R square is minus 1 by R with the limits R is equal to B to R is equal to A. So substitute the limits, and also there is a negative value, so minus into minus plus, and substitute the values of limits in 1 by R, then we get potential difference V is equal to Q by 4 pi epsilon 1 by A minus 1 by B volt. But we have to find the value of capacitance. As the definition of capacitance, C is equal to Q by V. Therefore, Q by V, that is a potential difference value, substitute here. Here the Q value is cancelled, and the 1 by 4 pi epsilon reciprocal is 4 pi epsilon by 1 minus A minus 1 by B farad. So this is the capacitance of a spherical capacitor. Now the next case is capacitance of a single isolated sphere. Consider a single isolated sphere of radius small a having charge Q. It forms a capacitance which is the outer plate at an infinite large distance, that is B value is taken as infinity. Now the capacitance of such a single isolated spherical conductor can be obtained by substituting B value as infinity in this equation. That is, by substituting the B value infinity here, then we get the capacitance of a isolated sphere. So here C is equal to 4 pi epsilon 1 by A minus 1 by infinity. So 1 by infinity is 0. So there is 4 pi epsilon 1 by A. Now capacitance C is equal to 4 pi epsilon A farad. This is the case of spherical conductor at a large distance from other conductors. Practically, this fact is important in obtaining the stay capacitance of an isolated body. So these are the different capacitance of the capacitors, that is parallel plate capacitor, spherical plate capacitor, coaxial cable capacitor, etc. Now the next concept is energy stored in a capacitor. It is seen that the capacitor is generally used to store the electric energy. Now here we have to find the expression for the energy stored in a capacitor. So for this purpose, let us consider a parallel plate capacitor, that is as shown in the figure, with a supply voltage of V. So this is the figure, represents a parallel plate capacitor. So here this is the positive plate, that means it has a positive charge. This is the plate having negative charge, and between the plates there is a medium, dielectric medium, having permittivity epsilon, and the area of the plates is capital A. The distance between the plates is small d, and the capacitance of this parallel plate is C. Now the electric field intensity is towards negative, that is move from positive to negative. Here V is the potential given to the parallel plate. Then we have to find the expression for the energy stored in a capacitor. So the expression for the electric field intensity is E is equal to V by D. This is also a relation between E and V, that is E bar is equal to V by D A bar N. Here again we have to remember the boundary condition between conductor and dielectric. That means at the boundary the electric field or electric flux density is splits into two components, that is a tangential component and a normal component. As we already discussed in the topic boundary condition between conductor and dielectric, the tangential components of electric field and electric flux density at the boundary is equal to 0. That means they are discontinuous, disappear. That means it has only normal component. That's why here the electric field is taken as normal component only, that is a normal direction. So E bar expression is V by D A N bar. Now the energy stored is given by, it is expressed as a WE. The units or the dimensional formula for energy and work is the same units, joules. So in place of energy store we have to use W work also. The suffix indicates the energy. So the energy stored is expressed as W E is equal to 1 by 2 integral d bar dot E bar dV. Once again we have to remember the expression. This expression is we have to taken from the concept of potential difference. This expression we have to derive and discuss in potential difference concept. So that expression here we use again, and we have to taken that expression here. WE is equal to 1 by 2 integral d bar dot E bar dV. Now replace the d by a relation epsilon E bar. So here E bar dot E bar, that is written as mod of E bar square. Now already E bar value is V by G, then E bar square value is V square by D square. So in this integration these values are constant, that's why they write before the integration. Finally 1 by 2 epsilon V square D square integral volume integral. So here the integral and differentiations are cancelled. Now volume we have to express in terms of area into length between the distance between the plates. So in place of V, here we write A into D. That is also expression for the volume of the plate, volume of the parallel plate. Here D value is cancelled. So 1 by 2 epsilon A by D V square. We have already discussed in the capacitance of a parallel plate, that is C is equal to epsilon A by D. Now replace the epsilon A by D by C. C means capacitance. So the energy stored, that is WE is equal to half CV square joules. If in place of dielectric is replaced with a free space, then there is increase in the stored energy? No. Why? Because for free space, relative permittivity, that is epsilon R value is equal to 1. So there is no increase in storage of energy. That means to increase the storage of energy, we used dielectric materials having epsilon R value greater than 1. So that's why dielectric materials are more useful in capacitors. That means they used to enhance or to increase the capacitance of the capacitor. So this is about the energy stored in a capacitors. And the next concept is energy density. Generally, the density formula is mass by volume. The energy density means it is the energy stored per unit volume. That means as its volume tends to 0. So the expression for the energy density we derived from by using energy stored in a capacitor expression. So this is the expression for the energy stored in a capacitor, that is WE is equal to 1 by 2 epsilon integral a mod of E bar square dV. Now mod of E bar square is constant, so just write the before the integration. That means 1 by 2 epsilon mod of E bar square integral dV. Now cross the integral dV here. That means energy stored per unit volume. As the volume is tends to 0, that integral value becomes to 1. So finally, the energy stored per unit volume is equal to 1 by 2 epsilon mod of E bar whole square. So here the unit indicates the clearly joule per meter cube. Here joule is the energy stored, and meter cube indicates the expression for volume, unit for volume. So the unit joule per meter cube is the unit for energy density. So the expression for the energy density is half epsilon mod E bar whole square joule per meter cube. Now this expression we have to change in terms of D and E also. We have know about the relation between D and E. That is mod of D bar is equal to epsilon E bar. Now substitute the epsilon E bar as a D bar, but still they have one E bar value. So WE is equal to 1 by 2 mod of D bar mod of E bar, and it is also expressed in terms of electric flux density, that is 1 by 2 mod of D bar square by epsilon. These are the different forms of expressions for the energy densities, and these expressions are useful to solve the problems. That means by given values, whether in the problem they have given value electric flux density, then we use the expression 1 by 2 D bar square epsilon, or in the problem they have given values for D and E, then we use 1 by 2 mod of D bar mod of E bar, or in the given problem they have given the values for permittivity and E, then we use the energy density expression is WE is equal to half epsilon mod of E bar square. So that is the benefit, different form of expression for the energy density. These forms we used in solving the problems depending upon their given values in the problems. So this is about the energy density. That means here in this session we discuss about the what is the capacitance of the spherical capacitor, that is the expression for the spherical capacitor is C is equal to 4 pi epsilon 1 by A minus 1 by B farad. Basing on this expression, there is another case, that is capacitance of a single isolated sphere. Just by substituting value B is equal to infinity in this expression, we get the expression for the capacitance of a isolated sphere, that is C is equal to 4 pi epsilon A farad. And also in this session we discuss about the energy stored in a capacitor. Energy stored in a capacitor is also known as work done to store the energy. So the expression for the energy stored in a capacitor, by taking an example of a parallel plate, the expression is half CV square, and we also discuss about the energy density. And energy density expression is WE is equal to half epsilon E square, or it is also half d square by epsilon or half d bar E bar. So this is the today's session we completed. In the next class we discuss about the magnetostatics. Before that we also discuss the problems based on potential, continuity equation and capacitance, and also basing on boundary conditions. That will be discussed in the next session. Thank you.